Have you been wondering how can I build a strong and fun family culture with my teenagers? These 5 tips will help you to create a more positive experience immediately. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins, and as a professional psychologist, I've worked with families for almost 3 decades. I've got some ideas that you can implement immediately to transform that family culture. Tip number 1, keep those lines of communication open. The teenage years are really challenging, and it's really normal, by the way, for teenagers to start pulling away from the family a little bit and attaching a little more to their friends. Totally normal. Sometimes families get into a trap where the parents are constantly lecturing or trying to correct or adding consequences for things that their kids are doing. Can you relate? And this creates some tension in the relationship. So in keeping those lines of communication open, here's the strategy. Less lecture, more listen. Years ago, I had an opportunity to attend a training from Stephen R. Covey, who is one of the leading experts in communication and leadership. And he pointed out that the strategy is to listen first, to understand. Now check it out. Understanding and agreeing are not the same thing. This will help immensely as you open up the communication with your teenager. Sometimes we get it in our head that, oh, I need to correct what they're saying. No, you don't. Just listen. Be open to listening. And here's an extra step that you can put in. People who do this succeed. People who don't continue to struggle. Add this step. Reflect what you heard, what you understood. So when your teenager is opening up about this thing is happening with my friends and I can't stand it and whatever they're saying, then your response is not to correct it. It's simply to reflect it first. Take that step. It'll sound something like this. Okay, so what you're saying is you're really frustrated about how your friends are acting about this or that. And you'll know that you're on target when they say, yeah. Okay, when they acknowledge to you that you got it. Ding, ding, ding. Score a point from mom or dad because you understood and you reflect that understanding. Quiet all the noise in your head that says you need to go correct whatever thinking they're doing. Simply get connected and show them that you understand. This is huge. Here's tip number 2, and this goes to a model that I teach parents in our parent coaching programs that pits control against maturity. The more mature your kids are, the more control they get to have over their own life. I think this is a basic principle of life, and it's true for adults as well. The more mature we are, the more control we get to have over our life. The best example of that is a little baby. When a baby is first born, how much control do they have over their life? Hardly any. They can make a big noise and a big stink, but that's about it. Well, as they become more mature, they take more and more control over their life. If we don't share the control with our teenagers, they will take it anyway. And at some point, they'll fire you, meaning they'll become completely independent, go live their own life. Now, it's our relationship that keeps us connected to our kids once they become adults and they move out on their own. So that gets us to tip number 2. Share the control. And yes, I'm acknowledging this has to do with maturity, which is more about their stage of moral development than it is about their age. If they're making really immature choices, that's different from if they're showing you a lot of responsibility and initiative, which is a higher level of maturity. But at some point, we have to share the control, because if we don't share it, they're going to take it anyway. And I mean about decision making, about activities, about the things that are important to them in their life. We have to be able to give up some of that control as parents. Now, I'm going to throw you a bone here because I know that there are reasons why you become so controlling. You're concerned about their choices, about their decision making. I get it. But at some point, they're going to take all of the control. That's why we're going to practice sharing it. And there's ways to do this. We go over this in our coaching programs where we work through scenarios of, well, how do I share the control in this setting? Just yesterday, for example, I was in a group coaching session and one of the moms raised her hand and brought her 17-year-old onto the camera with me in our group coaching. And they had a little discussion with me about his handling of school. Okay, mom was upset that he was falling behind. He wasn't that concerned about it. And so we talked about how she could give up some of the control over that. Her job is to love him no matter what and even if, not to make sure that he passes his classes, because she can't do that. She doesn't have the power to do that. He does. So even though she's really concerned about it, she has to give up that control because she doesn't control it. And it was interesting to see in this particular coaching session that he started to step up a little bit. He's like, wait, because if mom's not attached to that, he has to decide whether he's attached to it. And he's already capable of making better decisions about his schooling. This is just a quick example of what I mean by sharing the control and the decision making. Don't sweat the small stuff. And if you don't control it anyway, it's something you get to let go of. Tip number 3 has to do with your entire family culture to hold regular family council meetings. Here's what I mean by a family council meeting. This is a meeting where everyone in the family comes together at a predetermined, regularly scheduled time. And during that family council, there are a few things that need to happen. Number 1, there has to be some kind of discussion or learning or teaching about a principle that is consistent with your family culture. That's usually headed up by the parents, but you can engage the kids in this too. It's an opportunity to learn and discuss principle. Number 2, you gotta have fun together. So pick some activity that you enjoy and do it together as a family during this family council meeting. Number 3, you have to have a treat. Now, I've added that rule partially because of the psychology involved, but this helps people to anticipate and enjoy this meeting. It gives another pull for the kids to actually be there and to engage. Now, it doesn't have to be a long meeting, but it does need to be regular. And consistent with our previous tip, start to share the control and the decision making. Give the kids, especially as they get into those teenage years, some say about what we're going to do during this meeting, but establish it as a regular part of your family culture. I promise this is going to make huge differences in transforming that family culture. Okay, now you might be thinking, okay, I'm not sure I know exactly how to do that. Hey, don't worry about it. I've got you covered. Go to the URL on the screen right now, drpauljenkins.com/family council, and I will give you for free an agenda that you can use to help structure these family council meetings. It's a free resource. You're welcome. Just go grab that. I can support you that way. drpauljenkins.com/family council. Tip number 4, become more interested instead of trying to be interesting. All right, did you catch the difference there? A lot of parents, when their kids become teens, want to be their friend. They want to have their kids want to hang around with them, and that's all natural, okay? But that shifts the focus over to trying to enroll your kids all the time. Do you ever feel like you're trying to drag them kicking and screaming into whatever it is that you want to do? What if you were to become more interested in them? They are not mini-me. They are people who have their own interests and talents and skills and abilities, and it's going to be different from yours. I know that sounds obvious when I state it, but I've worked with so many parents who get trapped in that I want my kid to conform to be what I want them to be. And that creates a conflict, which isn't fun for the parent or for the teen. Get interested in them. What are their interests? What are their skills? What do they want to do? And why? What is it that they find appealing about this particular activity? Quick example, was a dad who showed up in one of our coaching groups recently, and he was really concerned about screen time. This is a big issue, right, with our teenagers. And as I questioned the dad about this, he didn't even know what his son was doing on the screen. Screen time? You're concerned about screen time? Why? What's your son doing? And he just assumed, well, he's out there playing video games or whatever, right? So I gave him an encouragement to go find out more about what his son is so interested in on those screens, and not trying to control it, but learn more about it. And I still don't know what he found out, but he's going to come back and report in one of our other sessions. Become more interested instead of trying to be so interesting to your kids. Tip number 5 is a psychological hack. I'm inviting you to intentionally choose to enjoy your teenager. Wait, can you do this? I get some pushback on this sometimes because people say, well, I just don't enjoy them. Really? Then enjoy them. Like it's up to you. Is it? Let me just test your thinking about this for a minute, because what if I ran a little contest? We do it here on the channel, okay? $1 million for anybody who can truly enjoy their teen for 1 full week, but you can't fake it. You have to actually enjoy them. Now, if I were to set up some kind of a contest like that here on the channel, would you enroll? Would you go for it if there were $1 million attached to it? And what would you do to pull it off? Okay, now notice what your brain is doing with this, because it's easy to get trapped in that, well, I just don't enjoy them, as if you don't have any choice in the matter. I believe that you do. And it depends on your thinking. If you'll apply some of the other tips we've talked about here on today's video, it will be easier. But ask your brain what it is that you could do to actually pull that off, because if there's a big prize attached, you'd figure it out, wouldn't you? Do those things. Intentionally choose to enjoy them. This is what gives me power. When I work with teenagers, they know that I sincerely enjoy them. And sometimes we're working on some pretty gnarly issues, but they know that I enjoy them, and it gives me a whole different footing to work with them. You can do this as a parent as well. Okay, you've got this. You're a better parent than you think you are. Remember that free resource that I offered you, the Family Council Agenda? Just go to drpauljenkins.com/family council, and I'll put it right in your inbox.